1, 2, and 3. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to talk about the layer of the hearts. What is the heart layers? This is the class number 2. In this class, I will explain about the layer of the heart, the pericardium, myocardium, endocardium, fibrous pericardium, parietal, basal pericardium, 3 types of the myocardium, endocardium. Okay, so this is the class number 2. And the class number 1, I have already explained the physiognomy of the heart, the chamber of the heart, the walls of the heart, the blood flow mechanism and the heart. Okay, so this actually, as we know that this is the page, this is the copy page of the lecture number 1, in which we have already explained about the chamber of the heart, right atrium, left ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Okay, these are the veins, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, all are explained here in the class number 1. Okay, in the previous class. But now in this class I only explain the layers of the heart, the wall of the heart. Okay, suppose when I zoom only this small area, as you can see here, when I zoom this small area, okay, so look at next page. Okay, so the zooming area is just like this one. This is the inside, this is the outside. Okay, so what are the layers of the heart? The heart, as we know that heart is a muscular organ. This is the organ, this is a very active muscular organ which working from the fetal life up to the birth, up to the death. Okay, so this is the organ, this is the only unique organ which working around the clock, day night working. So because of the full contraction and the full relaxation of the myocardic muscle, the heart is needed to be protected by some fibrous layer, by some pericardial layer. So this layer I will discuss in this class. Okay, so the heart consists mainly of 3 layers. The pericardium, this is the outer layer, this is the outermost layer of the heart. The myocardium, this is the actual bulk, which is the cardiac muscle. And with the endocardium, this is a very thin layer, spongy like about single cell layer, which is made from the endothelial cell. Okay, so what is pericardium? Pericardium is a double membrane layer which cover the heart from outside. Okay, suppose this is my heart. This heart is covered from all the side by a very tough and strong, very tough layer which is called the pericardium. Okay, so this is the the protective layer. This is pericardium is the protective layer of the heart which protect the heart from overextension, from outside jerk. Okay, and from other sudden damage. Okay, so this is the pericardium. This one as you can see here, this is the outside. So this layer is called the, from this point up to this point, this is called the pericardium. Okay, so this layer is called the pericardium. The pericardium, as we know that, is a double membrane layer. It is a protective layer. The outermost layer, this one, the green color, as you can see here, this layer, the outermost layer, is called the fibrous pericardium. Fibrous pericardium is a tough layer, very tough layer, which is made from the inelastic fiber. It is very tough and a very strong layer which covers the heart from outside. Okay, this is the fibrous pericardium. Okay, consists of fibrous pericardium and serous pericardium. Fibrous pericardium is the outermost pericardium. Okay, and the serous pericardium is present inside of the fibrous pericardium. Okay, so this layer, the yellow color layer, this layer and this layer this thin layer and this thin layer is collectively called the serous pericardium. Okay, so serous pericardium consists again by two layers, the parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium. So parietal pericardium is that layer of the pericardium, or that layer of the, actually this is the layer of the serous pericardium. Okay, so the parietal pericardium is that layer of the pericardium, is that layer of the serous pericardium which is attached with the fibrous pericardium, and visceral pericardium is that layer of the pericardium, or that layer of the serous pericardium which is includes contact with the myocardium. Okay, so there present a space. This is the parietal. There, this is the this one is the fibrous pericardium. This one is the this one is the parietal pericardium, and there is a space, okay, which is called pericardial cavity or pericardial space, and there present the visceral pericardium. Okay, so the layer is there present a space between the parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium. This one, this is called the pericardial cavity. This space is called the pericardial cavity. Okay, what is the function of the pericardial cavity? The pericardial cavity contain a fluid which is called pericardial fluid, which is called pericardial fluid. What is the function of the pericardial fluid? The pericardial fluid here is produced by the parietal layer and the visceral layer. Pericardial fluid is produced by these two layers. Okay, so they are present a pericardial fluid. Okay, the main function of the pericardial, here I do not explain the production, what is the mechanism of production of pericardial fluid. Okay, but giving just little bit of function of the pericardial fluid. Okay, the main function of the pericardial fluid is that, as we know that heart is a muscular organ, very active, very contractile organ, which is contract and relax all over the time, it continue its own work. Okay, so it decrease, here the pericardial fluid decrease the friction. It means it provide lubrication between this layer and this layer. Okay, so pericardial fluid is the fluid which provide lubrication to this one layer, the parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium. Okay, so the heart muscle cannot be damaged. Okay, the main function of the pericardial fluid is that. Another function of the pericardial fluid is that it absorbs the jerk. And suppose this is my heart, when I give a jerk, when I apply some pressure, some suddenly pressure on the heart. Okay, so this fluid absorb this pressure up to some instant, some limit. Okay, so another function of the pericardial fluid is to absorb the external pressure, external jerk. Okay, so it protect our myocardium, this which is called the actual part of the heart. Okay, so it protect the myocardium from the external pressure. Okay, so fibrous pericardium, this one is the top protective layer which prevent the heart from overextension, because heart is going day night working. So this is a very protective, tough, inelastic, inextensible layer which protect the heart from extension. Okay, it provide lubrication and absorb pressure, absorb external jerk. It provide tough protection. Okay, it provide. Okay, so another wall, another layer which is this one, the myocardium. Myocardium is that wall. This is the actual bulk of the heart, which is called cardiac muscle. So this is the cardiac muscle. You can see here this color, the ridges. These are the myocardium. This one, these two these are the myocardium. Okay, so the actual bulk of the heart, which the main function of the myocardium. There are three types of cell myocardium is present. There are three types of myocardium. Three types. Okay, three types. One type of myocardial cell is responsible for contraction and relaxation. Thus, it pumps the fluid all over the body. Okay, so one type is responsible for contraction and relaxation. Okay, plus relaxation. Okay, Another type of myocardial cell is responsible for the production of action potential. Okay. Another types of pericardium is the carrying of action potential. Okay. Here I do not explain why action by what mechanism action potential is generated, carrying up action potential. I will explain this phenomena in next class, the conducting system of the heart. Okay, so the main function of this type of muscle is to contract and relax the heart in order to pump the blood all over. Here the heart going on contraction and relaxation which pump the blood all over the body. Okay, but for the generation of action potential, distribution of action potential all over the heart, as you know that heart is the only organ which produce its own nerve impulse. Okay, which produce its own nerve impulse in the normal condition, and the heart also receive the action potential from the brain, from the central nervous system during the during the emergency condition. Okay, I will explain this phenomena in a big detail in the later in my next class. Okay, so this is called the myocardium, the actual bulk. Okay, another layer which is called the endocardium. Endocardium is a thin layer, is a very thin layer, is a very thin layer which is made from the endothelial cell. It is a very thin layer. Okay, this is about single or double cell, single cell or double cell membrane. Okay, so this is a very thin layer. Okay, the function of the endocardium is to provide a sponge-like appearance. Okay, to the internal structure, to internal cavity here. Okay, to give a sponge-like appearance. Okay, so these are all about the layer of the hearts. The fibrous pericardium, a protective layer which prevent the heart from overextension during the contraction and relaxation. The parietal pericardium and the visceral pericardium, which is collectively called the serous pericardium, help in the production of the pericardial fluid. The function of the pericardial fluid is to provide lubrication and to absorb the shock, to absorb the external shock. Okay, this is myocardium is the actual contractile muscle of the heart, which is called cardiac muscle, are three types. Okay, and endocardium is the sponge-like layer which is made from the endothelial cell. Okay, so these are all about the layer of the heart. Okay, so after this one, I request you to subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share my channel, and comment me a good comment me. Okay, so if you want to support me, so subscribe my channel. Okay, so this is my support.